It's happened, folks. We have finally got ship customization as a new feature in No Man's Sky, after the legends over at Hello Games added it in as part of the recent Orbital update. Now, I don't know about you, but I've been wanting this feature in for years, and I'm absolutely over the moon that we've finally got it. Though there is obviously a lot to learn about ship customization, so I've decided to create this video going over absolutely everything you need to know about it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get stuck in. The Orbital update obviously included a total overhaul to space stations, both inside and out, which I think was overdue as well, and the new ones look damn good. But according to Hello Games themselves, ship customization was their most requested feature of all time. And from my perspective, it's quite easy to see why, because it's one of the only things really missing from this huge exploration game. So I definitely think it's about time they bit the bullet and got it added into the game. I also don't think it ruins ship hunting, like, at all, because we still have to go out and hunt for crashed ships so that we can trade these for the right price and then use the salvage parts from them to create some brand new starships never ever seen before in the game. And with that said, I think they've done both sides of the table justice with the way they have done it. So, what does a ship customization look like? Well, as of the creation of this video, we can build fighters, haulers, and explorers. Though I have seen images of shuttles, but I didn't have access to it at the time of recording. So that could be added later. It's also not yet clear whether or not solar ships or sentinel ships will be added as part of these, though I suspect they won't. Would be a cool addition though, but in the case of solars, they tend to look pretty much the same anyway, with the exception of the sails. So maybe they'll never be customizable. Now well. Now, there are different parts of the ships that we can customize, and they differ slightly depending on what type of ship you're actually wanting to create. But the parts are the fuselage, the reactor core, the wings, in the case of explorers, left and right wings can be different, the cockpit, and thrusters. Now, each of these have different appearances based on the type of the ship it'll be. The fuselage, the wings, the cockpit, and the thrusters, other than that, should be pretty self explanatory, really. It's the reactor core that needs a bit more of an explanation. Well, first, to be able to customize a fuselage, or a cockpit, or both wings, or the left and right wings, or the thrusters, you will need to either find a bunch of crashed ships during your explorations, or you will just have to buy a bunch of ships off an NPC aboard space stations, trading outposts, or your freighter, and then salvage all the parts from them. Once you've obtained a ship and salvaged its parts, those parts should then become available for you to build a new ship. Pretty straightforward, really. The only real caveat is finding crashed ships, and I'll let you know a few quick methods on how to do that in just a minute. But once you have found and salvaged a variety of ships, you can then mix and match different parts to your liking and, of course, colour them however you want. Really, it is pretty damn simple, to be honest. It's not much more than that. When it comes to appearance, of course. So, as I was saying, the reactor core is a little bit different because you actually have to buy these instead of salvaging them. Though the good news is you won't have to travel far at all to get your hands on them. Though if you want a specific class, let's say an S class, you may have to spend some time racking up nanites because S class ones aren't exactly cheap. But anyway, you will be able to buy reactor cores of different classes on board the space station from the Starship Technology Merchant just around the corner from the new ship customization station. See, you don't have to go far at all. Now, the cost of these reactor cores vary in a couple of ways, and the first way is of course the class of said reactor. The standard price of a C-class one will be about 300 nanites. B-class ones come in at around 3,000 nanites, A-class ones will be about 6,500 nanites, and the S-class ones, i.e. the ones we all want, right, will come in at around 12,000 nanites. So, like I said, they're not exactly cheap. And I wouldn't want them to be either because it makes them less, I don't know, well, better, I guess. You may have to go around gathering nanites if you can't quite afford the S-class ones, but they shouldn't take too long. There are multiple ways to get nanites quickly, and I've done a video showing you how to do exactly that. So I'll include it in the description of this video in case you need some extra nanites. There is good news though, folks, because what was also included as a part of the Orbital update was the ability to get discounts from these technology merchants, assuming you have a good standing with them, of course. And as you can see, amongst the GEC population, I am a total legend, so I can get myself some pretty decent discounts on these reactor cores. But of course, there is a flip side to these, and if your standing with an alien race is bad, you're going to end up spending far more than I will be doing. So it may be worth you raising your standard with each of the alien species to get these fancy discounts. It is worth noting that initially, some people were experiencing a couple of bugs around the nanite count being negative when they had a really high standing, and that caused them not being able to buy reactor cores or other things like that. I haven't experienced this myself, but I do believe this issue was fixed in the hotfix patch 4.62. Not all major updates from No Man's Sky are perfect right from the off, eh? Now, I mentioned about finding those crashed ships. Well, there are multiple ways of doing this. And I won't fully go into depth here because I did a video just a few weeks ago about ship hunting where I go into more detail. So if you prefer, you can check that video instead. I'll leave a description below for you. But I will give you a brief overview of the methods to find these crashed ships. So first up, you can use planetary charts, specifically the distress signal ones. If you buy yourself a few of these on the space station from the cartographer, you can then plot a route and it's going to give you a destination of a distress signal. Though sadly, these won't always be crashed ships. They could be crashed freighters, and sometimes they could already have a pilot. So I prefer using the next two methods instead, as they are far quicker. Now, these two methods involve using your exocraft, specifically the Nautilon submarine and the Minotaur. Both can have scanners installed on them to search for specific things. Now, in the case of the Nautilon, it will locate a drowned ship for you, and the Minotaur will scan for distress beacons, so again, it's not always guaranteed to be a crashed ship, but the chances are good. And that's a very quick overview of finding crashed ships. There are other factors involved as well if you want to find higher class crashed ships, so if you want more information, check out my ship hunting video for those. And that is pretty much all there is to it really, folks. Shipbuilding isn't overly complicated. So what we need to do, salvage some parts from crashed ships or purchase ships, buy a reactor core, and then get to building those custom starships. I'm looking forward to seeing what some of the creations you guys make. And now that I've gone over all of that, what do you think of the new ship customization feature that came as part of the latest Orbital update? Are you a fan of it? Would you have done anything differently? Are you annoyed because it slightly changes how ship hunting works? Let me know in the comments section below. And there you have it, folks. There is absolutely everything you need to know about the brand new ship customization feature in No Man's Sky. I hope you found this video useful, and if you're still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. You can now become a channel member as well, and as always, thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in the next one. And finally, happy shipbuilding, guys.